Parents usually have a favorite child and often pamper them more than their other children, which can lead to jealousy among the siblings. But in today's case, that jealousy took a haunting turn when a daughter decided to let years of anguish out on her parents.
He wanted me to move so that one of my brothers who has a job, who has income, can stay there. My dad was on the computer. I just came up behind him and...
When officers received a call from a dying man who could only say that he had been stabbed multiple times by his daughter before becoming unresponsive, they wasted no time and rushed to the location. The scenes inside the house were gut-wrenching and have since been redacted by the police department.
1097-73. Zone 1 Marion primary.
The first victim the officer found lying in a pool of blood was 74-year-old Richard, who had visible stab wounds on his chest and arms and was barely breathing. Lying a few meters away from him near the front door was his wife, 73-year-old Sally, who also had a large stab wound on the left side of her chest. She was completely unresponsive, and both of them were immediately transported to the hospital.
Our friends are Rich and his wife
that live there.
Are they okay?
Well, they're going to the hospital.
Somebody hurt somebody?
Yeah.
Is it David, the son? He lives
Well, like
in
I said,
there.
I can't give you
Okay,
guys a lot,
sorry.
so I'm gonna end it.
So you got David that lives in the house. He's a real, between me and you, he's a real, okay? That's why he lives there. Middle-aged, probably 30s, drug issues.
Any idea where he is?
No.
Okay,
He
he's not
comes
in the
and
house.
goes. The daughter lives in that apartment at the back of the hangar. See that
Back of
door?
this apartment?
That's an apartment.
You can clear.
Yeah. Yeah, see?
Hey, so that hangar attached to the house, there's a pedestrian door on the side. That's a separate unit. That's an apartment. I did not check that. I just got that 43 from one of the neighbors here.
Yeah, we just got into it. We've just cleared it. She is not in here. This is definitely going to be hers so far.
So far. Is there any kids or anybody in there? Any kids of either one of David or
She's
Christina?
got a kid, yeah. She's got a kid. I don't know if it's there right now or not. We don't really see her too much. She zooms in normally and parks next to that picnic table. And she just, comes and goes with her own deal.
Okay.
I didn't know he had kids.
He's got 8.
8?
He's got 8 kids.
Okay. Those are the only 2 that live with him?
Yeah. He's got, so those 2 are there, and none of the other kids like to come over because none of the other kids like those 2 kids.
So do they get in fights a lot or anything like that? Like from what you hear from?
Not Rich. Rich is about the most
He's the coolest guy on
cool
earth.
cat you'll meet. Like, he doesn't get upset about nothing.
He's a rock.
Yeah, he doesn't get
He's not a Phantom
sideways.
driver. He
He doesn't get
Is he a veteran?
cool dude.
He was an F4 pilot in Vietnam.
He's a cool dude.
F4s and F100s.
While the house was being searched for weapons used in the attack and taped off, officers were informed that Christina drove a silver SUV. Using her license plate, they tracked her down at an intersection not far from her home as she and her wife were returning from Publix. She believed her parents were dead and had no idea that her father had called 911.
Shut the car off! Toss the keys out the vehicle!
There's 2 occupants in the vehicle.
With your right hand, open the door from the outside and keep your hands visible. With your right hand. Come out of the car and face away from me. Back up. Face away from me.
Face away!
Hands above your head.
Step to your left. Step to your left. Keep going. Keep going. Turn around. Spin. Put both hands up. Face away.
26.
Hands above your head. Takes 2 steps to your right. Walk back towards the sound of my voice. Walk back towards the sound of my voice. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
51.
Stop. Raise your shirt and turn around. Turn around. Turn. Face away from me.
51.
Walk back towards the sound of my voice. Hands up. Hands up. All the way back. All the way back. All the way back. Step to your left.
So, but I think that was his only stab wound. She had one dead, like just to her left of her sternum, and her upper left breast. So that's definitely a good vital area. So she was not conscious and she was barely breathing when they put her on the stretcher. I think he called 911 going to check on his wife and was walking around and just spitting. And that, I think he called us right away.
Am I under arrest?
No, you're being detained.
Can you tell me why?
I'll explain it. I'll let the detectives explain that to you.
Detectives?
Yep, he's a detective. He'll explain it to you.
Okay.
Want to go over this way with me? We'll explain that to you in a few.
You want
to have a seat real quick?
It's good to have her sunglasses on.
Yep.
Can I call my mom?
No.
She's like, I'm supposed to be back.
We'll let you make all this. I'm not in charge. I'm just one of the specialty unit guys.
David lives in
David,
Bellevue.
Daniel,
I
and
live
Richard.
over off of 52nd. And
Okay.
then same with my other brother, James.
The other brother, Steven, lives here
Steven sometimes,
That's
because they
Okay.
get separated
White
from
man.
his wife.
Okay. All right.
the
Well,
8-year-old, it's the female, the sister,
The
the
doc-
sister
your
and
sister.
her
My
partner.
sister, it's her partner's
Here,
daughter.
2479, just
Okay,
for
that makes sense.
43 for Smart Cop.
It's my brother, Steven, but he's back at his house in Marion Oaks right now.
So,
I
you talked to
called him. Yes, and he's going to the hospital.
do you know anybody that drives a white Ford Ranger?
My sister's got tons of mental health issues. And
So we've got her right down the street.
I saw that.
And we've got the baby there. And then her partner's there with him.
454.
We haven't been in contact with his sister in years.
Yeah. All I can tell you is it your mom and dad? Is that?
I guess that's what my buddy works for, like he was on duty.
But your mom and dad
He was
live
with
here?
18 and they responded to this. He said
Yeah.
it was my mom and my
It's
dad.
and they're in pretty bad shape.
Okay.
They took them to Ocala Regional, the trauma alerting them there. And obviously our focus became trying to find her because he was sane. She didn't. So our focus was put on her, but now we've got her.
He's been trying to get her out for a while.
Yeah.
She wants to be She's
Okay.
on drugs all the time. Please go on, Mom.
I don't have a cell phone on me right now.
Mine is in the car.
Relax.
How am I supposed to relax? You won't let me call my mom?
No, not right now.
Why?
Because right now we're dealing
What
with some.
is happening?
We will explain it to y'all in a minute.
And it is really uncomfortable with your hands behind your back like that, so sit sideways, take the pressure off you, okay? And I got the AC crank.
Are you going to come in here and talk to me?
I am not asking you any questions.
I need to know why I'm being detained, please.
When I have some information I can give you, I will. But right now, I am not asking you any questions, okay? I need you to pull your knee in just a little bit more. I don't want to catch you. That hurts.
As both women were taken to the police department for an interview, officers headed to David's house. One of the siblings they suspected might have been involved in the plan, but he, too, seemed not to have anticipated Christina taking such an unholy step.
Okay, there was an incident at their house, and they're at the hospital, okay?
What?
So we're still trying to work on it. We're trying to figure out what's going on. But for some reason, somebody said that you drive a white Ford Ranger. Do you have one? Do you know who drives a white Ford Ranger? Okay. I know. How many brothers do you have? 5 brothers? Okay. But it's an active investigation, and both your parents are at the hospital.
What's Christina's relationship like with your parents?
As far as I know, it was good.
Okay.
It is good.
Christina ever been in trouble with the law before?
I mean, I think so.
Anything other than like a traffic ticket or anything like that? She ever been to jail that you're aware of?
Yes, she has.
She has?
I mean, it's been a while since she's been in jail.
Have you ever seen Christina get mad at your parents before?
No.
No? Does mom and dad give her money for anything? Like, do they help her out? And
I'm sure, yes.
yeah. And when you say yes, you mean they
help
Christina,
all of us out.
They help all of you.
Yes.
So if Christina asks mom or dad for money, they'll give it to her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, as far as I know, your mom and dad are in the hospital. They're okay, but they did get some serious injuries.
What?
Yeah. Who would want to injure your mom and dad? Do you?
I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. And you said you weren't there this morning?
No.
When was the last time you were at the house?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Within a week ago, Christina was planning on moving out?
Planning on moving out, yes.
Was there any animosity about that between her and mom and dad?
I didn't hear anything about it.
Okay.
As far as I know, everything was savvy. He said that Christina I was in for grants, but he never said anything about, being upset or at it or...
Brenda clarified that she had already dropped off her daughter at school before meeting Christina and claimed she didn't know anything about the incident. Sadly, Richard didn't survive his injuries, but Sally's condition was slowly stabilizing. When Christina was interviewed about the incident, she pretended not to know anything about what had happened that morning.
And you said your parents live alone. Do you know if they have company?
They occasionally, like my brother Steven, he sometimes has problems with his wife. He comes by. David sometimes comes by to do lawn work. And
who's David?
That's one of my other brothers.
Okay.
I'm the last of 9.
Last of 9? Okay. Yeah. When did you do your laundry?
Between 5 and 6.
Okay.
I got up at 5.
You just threw it in the washer?
Mm-hmm.
So what were your plans when you came back from Publix, when you were headed home? What were you going to do then?
Just switch the laundry.
Switch the laundry?
And go to her place. Well, go back to the car and then...
Okay. All right. So when's the last time you saw your parents?
I mean, we were supposed to... Been a few days.
It's been a few days. Mm-hmm. So I might have misheard when he asked you about specifically how the washer and dryer setup was. Is it actually in the main house, or is it a...
It's in the main house.
Okay, so you'd have to go to the main house where your parents live. You didn't see them then or anything?
No.
You went in the kitchen to get some food, you said, to eat in the morning, right?
No. That's my kitchen, not their kitchen.
Okay, got it. It's just separate kitchens.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
But the main house has the washer and dryer.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. I mean, have they called you, texted you, knocked on your door in the last couple of days?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last communication they made to you then?
This morning I called my mom to ask her to open the door for the laundry.
Oh, okay. So about what time was that you called her, you think? But would it be on your cell phone?
Yeah.
And then you said you talked to your mom this morning at one time to tell her to open up that door. Do they have to unlock it so you can go in to do the wash?
Yeah.
Okay. And about what time was that?
I really don't know. So I went over there and put my laundry in, and I heard Gunsmoke on the TV. That's what she usually watches. And that was it.
When she's watching Gunsmoke on TV, which is normal, what room is that she's in?
A living room.
Okay.
Entertainment center place.
Okay. Did your mom come over and talk to you while you were washing the clothes? Did your dad call you or text you this morning?
Mm-mm.
Did you hear him in the background whenever you were talking to your mom? Did you guys...
No, but he usually goes on a morning walk. Bras, shirts, shorts, towels. There was a pair of work gloves and some shoe covers.
If I remember correctly, though, you're not working right now, though?
No.
Okay. When was all that? When were the work gloves?
I was doing some cleaning over at Brenta's house, and we were using bleach, and I'm clumsy when it comes to bleach, and so I always...
Okay. Maybe I missed that. When were you guys doing some cleaning?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Or not yesterday.
Christina.
So many days going together. What?
I don't want you to dig yourself into a deeper hole. When I came in here and asked you to get your side of the story, it's because I think there's more to this story than what I have so far. But I'll be honest with you. I've talked to your parents. Okay? I've talked to other people. We're in the process of getting a search warrant for the house, for your vehicle, for phones, and there's things that we're going to find that are going to contradict what you're telling me, because I don't believe what you're telling me, okay? And I want you to give yourself the opportunity to be honest, because there has to be more side of the story. And what I want you to do is to give me, some understanding that you're not this cold-blooded person that would do things to their parents without a good reason. There has to be more to it. Now, you told me you've been in a depression. I've talked to your wife. She said you've been going through some things as well, frustrated with school and with work, and the way things are. You want to be independent, but unfortunately, sometimes we have to rely on our parents, and that can cause stress between kids and their parents, and for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So something happened this morning, which you have been not even interested in knowing about. You haven't asked me once about what happened. Your wife has been more interested about what happened, and that tells me you already know what happened.
No,
I've been listen. Let's stop now. Hold on. You got to be honest with us, because at the end of the day, when all our investigation is complete, you're either going to be the person who is honest and took responsibility and told us what's going on that would cause somebody to do something out of their character like this, or you're going to be the person that's going to be looked at as a liar and a cold-blooded person that would harm their parents.
It wasn't until the officers asked Christina to think about Brenda and her child that she slowly began to open up about her rough childhood and what had driven her to do what she did.
Can we time out?
Sure.
What happened to my parents?
Your parents are at the hospital right now. They're being treated for some injuries, very severe injuries, and we're trying to sort through that.
And I'm concerned about your wife over there who has a 5-year-old and what her involvement is in this. Because that 5-year-old, Annabelle, she doesn't have a father right now, right?
I know,
but I'm saying the biological father has passed away.
Yes.
So she relies on you and Brenda to care for her.
Yes.
So is this something that just happened on a split second, or was this something that was planned? Because that makes a big difference as far as your mentality of what happened, right?
Can we drop some bullshit? What is going to happen, like, path A or path B? Red Bill?
I need to know your side of the story. I can't answer that without knowing if there's more to it than what I've been told so far, right?
Exactly, that's what you guys
I mean,
do.
we can tell you that there is not going to be, it's happening right now. There's a search warrant being done on the house. We're going to collect everything out of the house that's evidence. It's all going to go to the laboratory. That's where we're at now. So,
did Brenda have anything to do with this?
No.
Did she in any way try to cover this up?
No.
I'm going to be honest. Initially, I am a little worried that she maybe had some kind of cover-up thing going on, and I am a little worried about that.
She's very good at reading me, and I feel like she knew something was off, and that's why she's, trying to, despite her best efforts, cover my ass.
Yeah.
But she had no idea, no, nothing. I've had a very, very rough life. And they don't see that. I was young, we lived in Dallas, Texas until I was 10 years old. I had friends, I was popular, I was active, I wasn't fat. And then, because of a job, he decides we're all moving to Florida. The only perk is that it's horse country, and I've been very passionate about horses ever since I can remember. Shortly after the move, I, adjusted, as well as I could, I guess. I rode my bike around the neighborhood. I tried to make friends. My brothers, James and John, however, would stay in their room, play video games, and just stay in the room in the dark and stuff. And then I believe John is a psychopath because of the things that he did to me, and James helped. There would be various times of the day that whenever my parents weren't watching, that they'd, tie me down, hold me down, and burn me with either cigarettes or little metal rods or pins that they would heat up in different ways and put them out on my skin.
Were your parents aware of this stuff going on? Or did you never?
I tried telling them, shortly after it started happening, my mom looked at me in the face and said, I can't do anything unless I catch them in the act. I would sit at the dinner table and my brothers would have these hand signals, code signs and I knew what was going to happen later. And I'd start crying. And my dad would be like, why can't you just be happy? And I'd physically beat myself up, punch myself in the back because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't. I had all this pain on the inside. And there was no way to let it go. Because neither of my parents would listen to me about my brothers. My horse was the only thing that saved me from, throwing myself into traffic or cutting my wrists.
Okay. So how do we get from there to where we are this morning? I know. I just can't imagine that, for that long you got to go through that, because I can't imagine the tension and the friction and stress that it causes.
Christina had also lost potential job opportunities due to her criminal record, and it was becoming increasingly difficult for her to find employment. Even smaller stores would reject her, making it nearly impossible for her to stay afloat. According to her, this led to a downward spiral into depression, and she began using drugs. She also revealed that she had been accused of molesting her young nephews twice, years ago, and was now being asked to move out of the house because her father wanted one of her brothers who earned more and had a stable job to move in with them.
A couple months go by, same happens again.
You get accused of it.
Instead of Morgan accusing me of molesting not her son, but James's son, she accuses me of molesting her own son.
So you get accused of that again.
Mm-hmm.
And if the family targeted you again in some way. Before it was your brothers when you were younger, physically abusing you, and now it's the in-laws emotionally abusing you.
I've been gay since I was like 7, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. I would never hurt my nephews. I loved them. I was so happy when I learned that I was going to be an aunt for the first time. Ever since those accusations, the family's been divided. At one point in time, anybody who said that I was a child molester was out of the will. How much healing would have there been if people just owned their shit and said they're sorry for their part?
Yeah.
I understand they can't take it back. They can't, rewrite history. But you can at least say you're fucking sorry.
Give you a little closure. Yeah.
I'm a sociopath, and I have a wild case of DID.
Your emotions got the best of you today?
I've tried to explain to my dad, I take responsibility for the mistakes that I've made. The criminal and whatever. And, he wanted me to move. So that one of my brothers who has a job, who has income, can stay there. And I'm just, kicked the fuck out.
So they didn't even care where you went at this point? They just wanted you gone?
They just wanted me gone.
Did you tell them you'd be homeless?
Yeah. I told them I have no money. I have no way to get a job to support myself. And I asked him to help me, and he said it's not my problem.
Was your mom there? Were you able to tell her those things? What did she say?
She had this, look of, that she was sad for me, but it wasn't that they understood or that they were going to help or anything. At first, it was when they first dropped the bomb at me, my dad, he just walked up, he didn't say, hey, are you busy, can we talk, or, how you doing, nothing like that. It's always, just, I need you to be out of the house in 6 weeks. But, the way their house is laid out, they have plenty of rooms. They could have walled off, made another little apartment.
But your parents don't want to have a dialogue with you at all about this situation?
That they want to be out, completely out by tomorrow.
Tell me about the last thing you recall them saying. Who was it, your mom or your dad that was talking?
It was my dad.
What was the last thing he said that you remember?
You're going to be out tomorrow, right?
Okay. Did you say something back?
I think I just nodded.
Long dark pants, a jacket, and gloves. You put those on. And then what happened after you put on those clothes?
I went over, my dad was on the computer, in the computer room, in his computer chair. Mm-hmm. And I just came up behind him and...
Describe this how you heard it.
Okay.
Tell us what you stabbed him with. A knife? Where did you get the knife from?
I
apartment? You got it from your apartment?
The way she described stabbing her parents made it seem like she was blinded by pure anguish in the moment, so much so that she didn't even realize she had stabbed her father 7 times.
And when you hurt him and you stabbed him, where do you think the first place it was that he got hurt and stabbed at?
Left arm.
His left arm? I know it's hard. Tell us what happened after that.
I think I shocked him with my it's another self-defense thing that I carry. A taser.
Okay.
A little handheld.
A handheld taser?
Yeah, pens like wood.
Okay.
And then so I shot him and turned around. And then I stabbed him.
Did you shock him first, before the left arm?
Yeah, before.
Okay. Okay. And then what happened? Just take a deep breath. 2 stabs.
To your dad, and then you said 1 to your mom?
Yeah.
Describe to us the transition from your dad to your mom. Your dad's over by the computer. We already talked about that. How did you get over to your mom?
She heard the commotion. She came over and she's like, "What are you doing?" I don't know.
What part of her body did you stab? You're pointing at the middle of the chest? Okay. Did you use the taser on her at all? Okay. Tell us how you went back to your dad for another stab.
He got mad. I had my phone. He started crawling. And then he got up, and I got him as well here.
In the chest?
Yeah.
And you're pointing to the middle of the chest?
Yeah.
That's what happened. What happened with your mom happened, and your dad was angry. Was he saying something? Was he still able to?
He said some bitch or something.
And then he went from the computer room to where he was at the couch the last time you saw him. Did your mother ever say anything?
I think she stabbed me.
Okay.
And that was it.
But she fell down? And where did you go?
I don't know. I think she just laid down.
Okay.
So you thought they were both dead?
And then I realized what I did.
What happened after you realized what you did?
I took off all my clothes. I was a washer.
When you came up to your dad with that knife and this all started happening, was your goal to kill him?
No, I was just really mad.
But what was in your mind when you formulated that plan? What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
So you actually you did go meet up with Brenda at Publix after this happened?
What did you tell her?
I just hugged her and pulled her in.
Was it something that you planned in just 15 minutes, or this been planned over 15 days? Were you thinking about what you do?
Just like today.
Just today?
Yeah.
How many minutes do you think you put together this plan?
It just irked me that he just didn't care. He just wanted me gone. It's like, why did you even have me if you don't want me? And that, I think, just overwhelmed me.
Yeah. You knew both of your parents were in the house, correct? When you went back?
Well, yes.
Okay. So was it your intention to only kill your father and not your mother, or was your intention that even though she didn't necessarily put everything on you like your father was, she didn't stand up for you enough? So you were just going to have to kill both of them?
Later, officers found a 9-inch knife in Christina's car and several blood-stained clothes inside the dryer. She was sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder with a deadly weapon. One cannot always predict the outcome of their children's actions, even if everything was done right. And in this case, while Christina made many mistakes, her family made a few too, but none of that justifies what she did to her parents. They were already trying to help her get back on her feet, and murdering one of them only made her life and many others even more miserable. YouTube thinks you'll love the video on screen. Click to watch now.